Well, what it is, what it do. What it is, Young Thug. What it do? Well, it appears that Young Thug is about to come out with a new album somewhere in the May of 2025. At least that's according to Hip Hop DX. According to Hip Hop DX, a fan spotted a billboard that said, "Universe has been too quiet until now," and underneath was May 2025. So that kind of leads one to believe that Young Thug is about to drop another album for all of us in May of 2025. This comes on the heels of what was one of the worst trials in probably the past 2 decades, where Young Thug and 27 others were charged under the RICO Act. The RICO Act is usually withheld for gangsters, mobsters, that kind. The Al Capone types, the John Gotti types, those in those serious mobster ties and things of that nature. But I guess maybe they ran out of mobsters, so they figured, okay, I'll tell you what, let's try to go ahead and see if we can use it on a business such as Young Thug's business, a record label, because I guess the theory is they design record labels, and under the record labels, they become mobsters. I don't know the logic. I can't speak for them. I just know how the trial went. And the trial was utterly ridiculous. It seems like no one in the trial could get themselves together. I mean, the judge, they went from one judge, I think, to another judge, to another judge. The prosecution, they were all over the place as far as that was concerned. And then there was the testimony of Lil Woody. And if anybody takes a look at that, you can definitely see how ridiculous it was. Either Lil Woody was really, really smart and conniving as far as his testimony was concerned, or the prosecution just didn't know what it was doing. One way or another, Thug ended up with the situation that he did. And that was basically 15 years. So he got 15 years of probation. 15 years. That's a pretty long time. But the story doesn't end there, because the bottom line is they tried to put him back in jail. But before we get to that point, let's talk about what happened next. Then they turn around and they say, okay, we're going to keep all his jewelry, we're going to keep everything that's rated. So after he gets out, after he's released from prison, after he's finally free, after he's agreed to 15 years probation, it seems like the prosecution tries to keep, or the state tries to keep, everything that they took when they raided his home. Isn't that ridiculous? When they raided his home. So now he had to sit up and fight the state again with his lawyers to try to get his stuff back. That stuff that he had should have come back. I mean, of course, with the exceptions of things that were bio evidence or something like that they could not, give back to him for some reason or another. Something that maybe if it were illegal, or they had captured, or if they had put something into evidence that he shouldn't have had in the first place, then of course that's understandable. But he had to fight back in order to get back the things that were raided by the state when he was first charged. So that was the first thing he had to do. So he had to, let's look at it. He had to try to get himself out of prison. He did that. 2, he had to try to get all his belongings back. But then 3, just because he had done those 2 did not mean that the prosecution was done. So the prosecution decided to file a motion saying that Young Thug had violated the terms of his probation and they wanted to violate him. Young Thug faced up to 120 years in prison if he were convicted. So check it out. Young Thug went to Twitter. And he posted a picture of one of the investigators or detectives from his trial. The tweet showed the detective, and next to the detective's picture, he's basically calling her a liar and saying that all of his people don't like that particular detective. Well, as usual, the prosecution got in their feelings, and when they got in their feelings, they decided that they wanted to violate Young Thug. As a result, Young Thug was back in court, now on a motion to try to get him violated. Now, remember, he was facing 120 years if convicted. He pleaded guilty, but he was given time served and 15 years probation. So violating Young Thug could send him right back into the slammer, and believe you me, he's not getting out of the pokey this time, okay, if that were to happen. So they were trying to put him back in because he decided he didn't like the person who actually went about trying to put him in jail. He didn't like the person who actually went about trying to take away his livelihood, the livelihood of his family. I mean, what do you expect? Do you expect for him to give that person a diamond ring? I don't think so. So he decided that he wanted to post how he felt about this person, which I personally think he has every right to do, but at the same time, I don't know the terms of his probation. But just generally, it looks like that's okay, but somebody got their panties in a bunch, and oh well, that's what happened. Fortunately, the judge decided that he was not going to grant the motion, and he was not going to put Young Thug back in prison. But look at it. So here we go. Young Thug gets himself out of prison. All right. Then after that, he gets back the merchandise and the belongings that they took during the raid. And then he has to turn around and fight the state because they make a motion to put him back in jail. And while all of this was going on, brother is recording the album. And by the way it looks, it's going to drop come May of 2025. Now, according to Lyric Genius, they've already posted, a pre-release of what the album probably looks like. The track list is R.I.P. Scooty, Package, And I, Baby Baby, From a Man, Awful Lot of Spiders, featuring Desto Dub, Fighting Depression, Ash in the Blunt, featuring 6 Black. Ash in the Blunt, featuring 6 Black. I like that name. And Trying to Tell You, featuring Mariah the Scientist. So according to Rap Genius, this is what they have so far. But you know how it goes when it comes to some of these hip-hop records. Man, Playboi Carti just put it, 30? So he'll drop 30 tracks and then have you figure it out for yourself as far as what it all means. But either way it goes, we can look forward, I believe, to a new joint from Young Thug. Brother's been through a lot. Let's hope that this new record that's coming out actually demonstrates not only the level of maturity that he has, but also he can use some of all that pain to put it into the process to give us a real good product. So there we go. We'll see what happens. Until then, what it is, what it do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can know when a new joint drops.